I'm coming to the end of my own China story, my China experience, and so it's good to think back on those old stories. So this story is from around 2008. I was living in Shanghai at the time, and I had a college classmate come and visit me there named Marcus. He came and visited. We had a free weekend, so we decided we were going to go to Huangshan Mountain in Anhui province. On the train, we met this guy, Peter, who's an English guy who's backpacking around, had his Lonely Planet guide on the train, couldn't speak any Chinese, had just arrived. And we started talking to him. He was also going to Huangshan, so the three of us made it into Huangshan together. From Huangshan City, we did the 2-hour drive to the base of Huangshan Mountain. And when we checked into the guest house, they said, you know, the path is very icy. They gave us things on our shoes, like little crampons, you know, a little piece of metal on the bottom of our shoes with one little tooth. They said, oh, this will help you when you're climbing because it's very slippery otherwise. So we put these on our shoes, and the three of us started climbing up Huangshan Mountain. It was beautiful. Those trees were completely covered in snow. It was just gorgeous, and there was no one else around. Just a very, very peaceful place. We were climbing, and about 30 minutes after our climb, I'm walking with my friend Marcus, and up ahead, we hear this blood-curdling scream. When we kind of climb up and we look around, we see that this guy, Peter, has fallen off a cliff. He's fallen about 15 meters down onto some rocks, and we look down over the edge and we see him there, and he looks up at us. His face is completely bloody, and he looks up and he says, "I think I broke my leg." And so we panic. Marcus decides to stay with Peter to make sure he's okay. I'm running down the slippery, icy stairs in my little crampons, and when I get to the bottom, there are some workers that are there with the sedan chairs on the bamboo poles, the palanquins, and you know, I say, "Hey, my friend has hurt himself. You have to help us." And so they come up with me. Marcus has gotten Peter back onto the path. And the only way we can get him back down the mountain is to put him in one of these chairs, these sedan chairs. We load him into this chair, we get him up on their shoulders, and every time that they take a step down the mountain, he yells, screams in pain. When we get back to the bottom, there's an ambulance there waiting for us, and the three of us get into the ambulance and we go to a local hospital. In this local hospital, we walk in the door, and it's completely dark. There's no lights on, there's no doctors, there's no nurses. It's freezing cold. It's like an ice castle in this little hospital. We call into the hospital. A nurse comes around in her coat. She calls the doctor, and we take Peter into the back to get an x-ray for his leg. And this room is just one concrete slab with a big, hulking, rusted machine, x-ray machine on the top. And the doctor says, "Okay, we need to take an x-ray of his leg, but I need your help. On the count of 3, I want you to take his legs and push them into place so we can take the x-ray." And I said to Peter, "Okay, I know this is gonna hurt, but we just have to do this for the x-ray." And the doctor says, "Okay, you ready?" I was like, "Yeah." So 1, 2, 3. Move his legs. Ah! And the doctor runs back around and he says, No, sorry, it wasn't clear, we have to do it again." And so we did this 2 or 3 times, and we get a blurry x-ray of his legs. But they can't help him in the hospital. They don't have the medicine there. So we load him back into the ambulance. We drive 2 hours back to Huangshan City to another hospital. And when we get to this hospital, the doctors, meet us, and they immediately start asking, "Does he have any allergies?" And I have my dictionary. My Chinese was not that good then, so I'm looking through my dictionary, looking for the word for penicillin and allergies and all this kind of stuff. And the doctor says, "Well, he's broken his leg, but he broke it in a part near his groin where we can't put a cast on it. He just needs to rest." And I kind of look at Peter and I said, "So he says you need to stay in Huangshan City Hospital for 6 to 8 weeks." And Peter is like, okay. He's very positive. He's very, he's putting on a brave face. So I asked the doctor, "Well, what about food. Will you give them food every day? He's like, no, we don't give them food here. The family members will bring food to them. And I said, well, he's just a backpacker. He doesn't have family here. So I went downstairs and I found some guy who was just waiting by the hospital. And I said, hey, can you bring KFC to my friend for 6 weeks every day? And he says, yeah, okay, sure, I'll do that. And so I go back upstairs and I talk to Peter. And I said, okay, well, you just need to rest here. And this guy will bring you KFC every day for lunch. Peter was thanking me. He said, oh, you saved my life. This is, thank you so much. I also loaned him some money because he didn't have enough money to stay in Huangshan for 6 weeks. And he's on the bed, he's waiting, he's got his KFC coming, he's got his Lonely Planet book to read for 6 weeks. And I looked at my friend Marcus and looked back at Peter and I said, well, it was nice meeting you, but we've got to go now. He said, well, thank you so much again. And in 6 weeks, I'll write you an email, I'll give you a phone call and give you back the money and say thank you again. I said, okay, sure, no, don't worry about it, it's fine. Happy to help. I went back to Shanghai and 6 weeks later, I get a phone call and it's Peter and he says, hey, I'm in Shanghai now, can you come and meet me? And so we met at the Renmin Square subway station. He's hobbling up and he meets me and pays me back the money. So I was like, how was your time in Huangshan? I mean, did you have a good time? And he's like, well, I read a lot of my Lonely Planet book and I learned a little bit of Chinese and I'm never ever going to eat KFC ever again. And so that was Peter's kind of China story. That was his experience. And now I'm coming to the end of my own China story, my China experience. And so it's good to think back on those old stories.